What is this, Harry? Hey guys, welcome to the show. I didn't know it. I didn't know it had already been going on. Just came over here and looked at it and uh, seen there was already comments coming up. Uh, cool. Glad you're here. I'm hoping that some of the board will join us here in a little bit. They've been busy today. Let me fix this just a little bit. So, everybody hear me okay? All right, Mike. Thank you, buddy. Everybody, welcome to the show tonight. We're building the audience here. Got about 8 minutes before we start. Yeah, that Oz versus Fetterman debate should be good. Looking forward to seeing the clips that come out of that. That should be very interesting debate. You stand for Plumber B? Well, you better. All right, C10. Thank you, Michael. McFly, thank you. Tammy, yes. Stacy, yes. Loud and clear. Jen, thank you guys. Hi, Carol. How you doing? Let me first off say that the amount of hate and vitriol that's came at us since the weekend has been very encouraging. Very encouraging. Unfortunately, it appears today that I may have inflicted some friendly fire. Some people I thought were coming at me, and then one of them, at least one of them, I thought they were somebody else and blasted them pretty hard. So I made the apology that was necessary. Hope they accept it. So yeah, it was. Oh, Mateo, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you tonight. That's Santa's little buddy. Ah, good, Jimmy. Good. Glad to hear that, man. Jimmy, you're a great encouragement to us. We appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you so much. I'm here at my son and daughter-in-law's house, so I've got to spend some time with my grandkids who are currently over there going to sleep. And man, I've had a blast with them today. As soon as I got here, my my grandson, he immediately, and he does this every time I come, immediately runs over to the bookshelf, starts pulling out books, and I start to read to him. So, and as he was pulling out books, my little granddaughter, who was just a little bit over a year old, she starts dragging them out too. So, pretty soon there was hardly any books on the bookshelf within their reach, and yeah, that was fun. I love it. I love it. So, um, yeah, so thankful for my kids, my grandkids. I'm proud of my son, my daughter-in-law, and my little daughter. Man, they're amazing kids. No no papa's ever been prouder of those kids or their kids than I am. So very proud of them. Good moral, uh, just good kids, man. Yeah, grandkids are awesome, Jimmy. They're absolutely awesome. So uh, so the kid, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd say both. Are they both asleep now? Yeah, they're both asleep now. So no, they're not gonna get it. So uh, so exactly, Carol. Exactly. I wished I wish that I had more of the papaw mentality when I was raising my kids. Uh, my son just said, "Me too." He said, "Oh, you pulled out all your books." Aw. Uh, yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know where he gets his sense of humor and his quick wit from, but I wish he could give it back. My daughter-in-law, she made cheesy potato soup tonight. It was delicious. I am stuffed. No, I'll be in Indiana. I got too much going on here, so I had to stay here and get some stuff done. It's mostly just computer work, so uh, I came up here to my son's to use his internet and stuff. So, Brother Tony, I stayed at his house until around 12:30, 1 o'clock today. So had a good time with him. If you haven't seen the live stream today with Brother Tony, I encourage you to go watch it. Yeah, I'm exactly. I'm going into the food coma here pretty soon. If I snooze off in the middle of this presentation, just somebody call my cell phone and see. Uh, Plus, I've been up since real early this morning. Yeah, please go press the like button. I can't see the likes here though. Yeah, I don't even know what they are. The other night I was on my Hi Lady Buckeye. Oh, you made that today too, Renee? Oh, it's good. Hi Armada, Daisy May. Just as I seen your post, it went past. Um, we'll give it one more minute here, and then we'll start into the actual presentation itself. Elected to go with it this way. Last night we started to do just a StreamYard, and at the last minute I realized that I could only do 10 at a time, so I was stuck. So bear with me as we work through these. I'd never used StreamYard to actually do anything, but I need StreamYard for what I'm doing here um, to be able to actually put the slides up and show you what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go through the presentation itself, and then we'll come back and talk about the things that um, uh, um, needs to be talked about. Let me find my notes here. Speaking of which, so all right, it is 8 o'clock. So glad you all are here. Thank you. One of the things I want to talk about when it comes down to this presentation, and I had an epiphany last night while we were doing it. Um, this is something that you don't have to go rent um, a big fellowship hall or some kind of venue to do this. You could actually go to the website, which this thing will be on the website here in a little bit. Um, you can actually go to the website, download it, and just tell a friend, say, hey, I got something you need to watch. Can I come over to your house and just share with you what I got, and make sure that they, you know, you're going to sound like you're doing Amway, but let them know this is not a business. This is just something that you're wanting to show you them some information about our freedom, about our country, and you can go in there and give the presentation right at the kitchen table or sync it up to their television set and just go through it, and then just sign them up uh, to the 1776 website, and go from there. So this is something that you can. It's very mobile. It's very easy to do, and you'll see. All I'm doing when I'm going through this, I'll do some ad lib. Uh, you that were just watching the live streams of what we've done over the weekend, you didn't actually get to see the slides. You saw me talking, but all I'm doing really is just reading the slides as I flip through them, and um, um, let me add this up here so you can kind of get an idea. Uh, Now, another thing that I noticed last night, and it's doing it again now. There's sometimes the words are overlapping the picture; they're not exactly synced up like they're supposed to be. But when you're actually doing the presentation, all of this stuff, none of that will be. Like right now, you can see from the O over on restoration and the E over on movement is actually part of the picture. It's not like that when you actually are doing the presentation. So might have a little bit of trouble reading some of them because they didn't line up exactly right, and there is um, like where the clicker on the screen is. You guys can't see it, but where the clicker is on the screen, it overrides some of the wording. So let me just bear with, bear with me as I do my best with this. So we'll get it all figured out. All right, let's go ahead and start into the actual presentation itself. When I set it up this weekend, when the people walked in, this is actually what they were looking at. And like I said, that black part will actually be over quite a bit further, and you can see it a whole lot better that way. So I'm going to put myself down here at the bottom, see if that works. That may not work either, but anyway, what I start off just by saying, I do the welcome and I'm glad you're here. Or if you're in somebody's home, thank you for letting me come and share this with you. Make sure that people know there's no money involved here. We're just trying to build a coalition of like-minded individuals to restore our country to its rightful place. So I say we're the 1776 Restoration Movement. Let me get my thing up here where I can do this. All right. We're here to educate, to activate, and to motivate. I don't think I'm going to have to take that off. Educate, activate, and motivate. And I talk about that for just a second. The education side, we need to educate ourselves. We need to educate our friends, our family, which is why I'm here tonight. Activate. We don't need to just have. If we just have education and we don't do anything with it, then what good is it? So we need to be active in what we're doing. And then this is going to take a lot of motivation. So we're going to need to be motivated every single day that we're doing this, because if not, you're going to get discouraged and not finish the project. So we're going to be offering motivation through our websites, through our live streams and stuff like that. So if you will hold your questions till the very end, then we'll get into that. Okay. The first thing we need to do is diagnose the problem. A lot of people think they've diagnosed the problem, but they really haven't. They've just diagnosed the symptoms of the problem. This is a quote from Thomas Jefferson. The true theory of our Constitution is surely the wisest and best, that the states are independent as to everything within themselves and united as to everything respecting foreign affairs. Let the general or the federal government be reduced to foreign concerns only, and let our affairs be disentangled from those of all other nations, except as to commerce, which the merchants will manage the better, the more that they are left free to manage for themselves. And our general government may be reduced to a very simple organization, and a very inexpensive one, a few plain duties to be performed by a few servants. And then I just ask, is that the kind of government that we have today? This is Thomas Jefferson. He's the one that wrote the Declaration of Independence. He understood our system of government and what it was supposed to be. That is not what we're supposed to, not what we are today. Let's look at this a little more closely. The true theory of our Constitution is surely the wisest and best, that the states are independent as to everything within themselves and united as to everything respecting foreign affairs. What does that actually mean? What that means is each state is supposed to have their own sovereignty. They govern themselves. We started off, we were 13 experimental labs of liberty. Now we're 50 experimental labs of liberty. In other words, if California wants to make some crazy law, if they want to experiment with, their liberty, they have the right to do that. And it only affects California. A citizen of that state, or as a citizen of that state, I can then either fight that law or I can move to a state that more closely aligns with my belief system. However, if the federal government makes that same crazy law, where do I move then? It affects all 50 states. It's not just California anymore. It's all 50 states. Another problem with this is that there are now over 430 unelected government agencies who make most of the laws that govern our lives. And their drive is to protect their turf. And both those statements come from Forbes, July 5th, 2017. These unelected government agencies are forming most of the laws that govern our lives. And trust me, they fight against each other. Their turf is very important to them. Here's an example of these different agencies. Let's say the EPA, that's one of the agencies. If the EPA identifies a problem in New Jersey, their solution is not only for New Jersey, but it affects all 50 states. It may work well for New Jersey. It may fix the problem in New Jersey, but New Jersey is completely different than, say, Mississippi or Indiana. And when that happens, it creates a lot of problems in other states. It may have fixed it perfectly in New Jersey, but we're 50 different states with 50 different ways of governing ourselves. And we have different economies. We've got different lifestyles. We've got different morals. We've got different belief systems. And so it actually creates more problems than it fixes. This is the root of the problem, guys. The root of the problem is the federal government was never supposed to have this much power over the individual states. At the original founding of our country, the federal government was under the states. If you'll look at state constitutions, they're always larger than the federal constitution. Why? Because they have more power. They do more things, and they have their sovereignty. Again, the problem is, independent, and I just read the highlighted parts here, the bolded parts, where the states are supposed to be independent as to everything within themselves. They have their own sovereignty. And our general government may be reduced to a very simple organization and a very inexpensive one, a few plain duties to be performed by a few servants. That is not what we have today. More issues that we've got to deal with. This is one of the issues, but there are some other issues that we got to deal with. America is a republic, not a democracy. So many people believe that we are a democracy, and they have no idea really what a democracy or a republic is. But we cannot let this mainstream thinking of us being a democracy continue to go on unabated. The individual liberties defined in the Bill of Rights came from God, not from government. This is another misnomer, that the government gives us our individual liberties. They do not. God gave us our rights. Government is established to ensure those rights, and that's it, guys. That's it. They're there to protect our rights. They don't give them, they protect them. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. That document stipulates what the federal government can and cannot do. And that's it. Sorry. This is where that little thing's over top of my wording. I'm trying to read through it. An immoral, inactive, and uneducated public will cede their freedom to another, in this case, the government. If you're immoral, if you're inactive, and if you're uneducated, they're going to take your rights away from you. They're going to take your freedom away from you. Let's look at a republic versus a democracy. Democracy is the rule of man, whereas a republic is the rule of law. The glaring difference is the philosophical nature of these two systems of government. A democracy is still ruled by the people. We still have elections and things of that nature, but it focuses on the collective, i.e., it's majority rule. This is a dangerous form of government because 51% of the people can determine the way of life for 49% of the citizenry. All it takes is a simple majority to make a decision and to make a law, to make a way of life acceptable. And with that being, when that happens, if you got 51% that is actually setting the rules for 49%, rebellion's inevitable. 49% of the people are going to, they're going to say, hey, this ain't right. We don't like this, but they can't do anything about it. So you're going to have rebellion. As a matter of fact, no pure democracy has ever lasted for very long at all just because of that. The average age of a national constitution in the world today is only 17 years long. They're constantly having to do away with them and rewriting new ones. Our founding fathers, again, established a republic, not a democracy. Where a democracy focuses on equality, that's what a democracy focuses on, is equality. A republic focuses on individual liberties. Now, understand that the Declaration of Independence declares that all men are created equal. There's that word equal. And people will say, well, the Declaration of Independence says that we're equal. We need to focus on equality. But the problem with that is it says here, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And let me go on just a little bit further and explain something. That we are endowed by they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Again, this is where we see where our rights come from. They are endowed by who? Their Creator. That's who gives us our rights. However, after we're born, see, there's a reason why they put the word created in front of equal. After we're born, no one can ever truly be equal again. We're each given our own choices, our natural talents, motivation, etc. They will lead us to our own path. Individual liberty, though, allows us to seek our own success. So individual liberty, not equality, is why our founding fathers chose a republic over a democracy. You cannot legislate equality. You cannot make everybody equal, but you can give everybody individual liberty so that they can rise to whatever level they choose to rise to. And the government is not supposed to be throttling us in that endeavor to rise to the greatest level that we can rise to. There has been an awful cost paid for our liberty. For years, I've heard freedom isn't free. It's now more than just a buzzword. It's now more than just a catchphrase. Freedom isn't free. Each generation, though, must pay the price for their liberty. We cannot rest on what others have done in the past. This is our job to pay the price for our liberty. What price are you willing to pay so that you and your family can be free? Thomas Paine said, these are the times that try men's souls. Don't make any mistake about this. We are right in that very same time. Our souls are being tried. What kind of soul you have is going to be very evident at the end of this. That's what a trial is. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Patrick Henry, he says, is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. Folks, I pray that it's not going to be required of us to that level. We can do this peacefully. We can do this using the Constitution itself and using the rights that our founding fathers graciously laid out for us. We have to do this. We have to do this the right way. The price of liberty. What's your liberty worth? Is peace more important than your liberty? Is safety or security more important than your liberty? What price are you willing to pay for your children and your grandchildren to live free? Make no mistake, our republic is under attack. Equality is the enemy of individual liberty. They're breaking us up into groups and giving certain groups certain rights and special rights. This is not the way of a constitutional republic. Equality favors small groups, giving them special privileges. Those special favors may and do alienate anyone who's outside of that small group. No one or group has special freedoms. Each individual has the same right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as further defined in the Bill of Rights. We now see government or federal agencies making laws that violate our life, our liberty, and our pursuit of happiness. Hardworking Americans are now paying 50% of what they earn when all the taxes are totaled together to governments, state, local, and federal. Then those governments give that money to individuals who can work like you do, but choose not to work at all. In this picture I picked right here, these three guys posted on the internet the money they received during the COVID crisis by scamming the federal system. To countries that hate, they give the money to countries that hate us or threaten us or openly ridicule our way of life. This is unacceptable. They give money to enrich their families and friends with special government contracts. Don't tell me it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. Yeah, we're kind of getting tired of that. There are two Americas right now trying to coexist. One holds to the value of hard work, taking care of yourself and your family, honor and respect, pride in our nation, our flag, our history. The other hates these values and is trying to destroy them. The fundamental difference, though, is rooted in the changing of American culture. Over time, the ideology of love of God, love of country, love of family has been replaced with love of self, and, well, you get what I'm saying there. The responsibility for one's own outcome has been replaced with the state owes me my retirement. The state owes me my health care, my safety, my security. If there is no individual responsibility, there can be and will be no individual liberty. They do not coexist together. Or they do coexist together. They cannot coexist separately. Another issue that must be addressed immediately. We have lost our moral compass so much that we have lost our moral compass so much that what once would have been and was considered insanity is now heralded as brave. If we lose our republic, this one reason is to blame: our unwillingness to defend moral absolutes. I remember our unbelief when the Episcopal Church embraced homosexuality. Yet many of our churches were silent and are silent about the adultery that is going on in our own pews. You can't have it both ways, folks. We were warned of this possibility. John Adams said, "We have no government armed with power capable of contending with human passions unbridled by morality and religion. Our Constitution was made only for a religious and moral people. It is wholly inadequate, for the government of any other." In order to enjoy individual liberties, we must be able to govern our own lives. Self-governance is what we are. As a constitutional republic, it's about self-governance. We are the government. Self-governance must begin with individual morality. We must, when we lose individual or collective morality, laws immediately become necessary to govern us or to control us. And with each law that is made, you'll lose more and more of your individual liberties. There must be an immovable standard of morality. Our founding fathers used the Word of God as that standard. Now churches have left it to the government to set national morals. And they are now starting to set the groundwork for normalizing pedophilia by changing the name to minor attracted persons. You got to be kidding. And make no mistake, that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting ready to normalize pedophilia. At the same time, they are trying to destroy a family business. While they're trying to normalize pedophilia, at the same time, they're trying to destroy a family business that, due to a moral belief, refused to bake a cake for a homosexual couple. This is what happens when you start letting the government set what is right and what is wrong in the world of morality. The American church is largely responsible for our loss of morality and thus our loss of liberty. Pastors are more focused on building a church and have forgotten that they are supposed to be building a kingdom. In doing this, many have resorted to preaching messages intended to make the congregation feel good instead of preaching against sin. There is little use in reestablishing a constitutional republic if we don't also restore our individual and national morality. It is the church who is supposed to feed the hungry. It is the church who is supposed to heal the sick. It is the church who is supposed to educate the citizens. It is the church who is supposed to take care of the widows and children. The church was never supposed to be the servant or the master of the state, but it was supposed to be the moral conscience of the state. The church has given the sovereignty of the Bible on morality to the government. Now the government dictates what is moral. And let me tell you something. They're dictating now that the church, anybody who still preaches the truth, is going to be rated as a threat to our democracy. What must we do? We need to educate ourselves to our true system of government. What kind of government do we really have? What are we supposed to be? We need to study our founding documents, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, Constitution Alive on YouTube. There's Dr. David Barton. Well, I found David, he may not be a doctor. I got to research it. David Barton and Rick Green. I put Dr. David Barton because I thought he was. But anyway, Constitution Alive on YouTube. It's free. It's an 11-part series that takes a biblical worldview on the Constitution, the Founding Fathers. David Barton, he owns the largest privately owned collection of original founders' documents, their writings and such as that. And he quotes directly from them. So very, very powerful series on the Constitution. However, first and most importantly, we must, as our founding fathers did, earnestly and most sincerely invoke the God of heaven to our aid. The Bible says in 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Look at the things that this describes. The number one thing that we have to do is become humble. We got to know that we do not have the answer to life. We don't have the answer to life's problems. That comes from one source and one source alone, the God that knows everything. We've got to become humble under his tutelage, under his will. We got to pray. And I'm not just talking about praying for 2 or 3 minutes over your food or 2 or 3 minutes in the morning or while you're driving down the road. We need to get on our knees and seriously seek the face of God. We need to seek his face. And I talked about this the other day. I had a revelation on that. And my little grandson, I'm here with him now. My little grandson, he's man, I come in, he's Papa. He's got my undivided attention. But then his dad and I will get into it, and this just happened a while ago. His dad and I will get in a conversation, and you guys know me, when I get in a conversation, man, I'm wholeheartedly in the conversation. And it just happened just a moment ago. This time I actually heard him say my name, but if I don't pay attention to him, he'll reach up and grab my face and pull my face back to his. Why? Because he will not be denied. He wants his papaw to look at him. He wants his papaw to pay attention to him. His love for me, he will not be denied. And that's the way we've got to be with God. We got to reach up into heaven from our knees and say, God, don't turn your face away from us. We need you too much right now. You have to turn your face back towards us. And we will not take no for an answer. The Bible says also, and repent. That means to return or to turn from our sins, from our wicked ways. We have to turn completely 180 degrees from all the wickedness that is going on in our nation. Why? Because then and only then will I hear from heaven, he says, and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. This is the secret, folks. This is the founding fathers. They sought the face of God. As a matter of fact, there was a guy who was near Valley Forge. He was a Troy. He believed in having his allegiance was to the King of England, and he heard that Washington was in Valley Forge, so he decided one day to go over and see him. And on the way over there, he found George Washington on his knees praying to God. He didn't bother him. He didn't interrupt him. He sat there and he listened to him pray. Then he silently turned around and went back home and walked into his house. A loyal servant to the King of England walks into his house, looks his wife in the eye and says, "We're on the wrong side." Anybody who prays like that, God is going to hear them. This is why we need to get back on our knees and pray like we've never prayed before. The church is the reason for our moral decline, but we are also the solution. It takes the churches to stand up and begin to preach the truth again and explain to people that the moral way of living is best for not just them, but for our country. Okay, that's the end of that particular show. Let's remove this one. I had to break it up into two parts. What in the world's going on with my camera? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, I guess you can. All right, let me see what's going on with the sound. Check, check. I've got sound here. It's coming through on this side. Can you hear me now? Oh, you're here now? Okay. I don't know what's going on with that camera. It's acting plumb crazy. All righty. Matter of fact, Rick Green, he in that series, he said that he graduated from law school, and he also became a Texas state representative, and had never read the Constitution. So we've got politicians that don't even know the documents that they're supposed to be living under. So we have to do that. We need some of you to be media watchdogs. Some will be chosen to speak with those elected to every office in the state. We need to look them eyeball. I'm talking about from the dog catcher to the state representative. Every single individual, we need to get them on board with this. Some of you will canvass neighborhoods with the information. Some will give this presentation. As a matter of fact, everybody should be giving this presentation. Like I said, you don't have to rent a big hall. You don't have to get out and pass out a bunch of flyers. Just talk to your friends and give them a presentation. These are the times that try men's souls. Again, the national group, these are the people that you're joining with, the national group who founded 1776 Restoration Movement. They are warrior patriots. They have volunteered to brave the cold, the heat, and the hate. Make no mistake, this will be no easy task. This is a process, and we are way behind. This must become the driving issue in your life right now. It's time to stand. It's time to stand up and protect our faith, our family, and our country. And then I go into the slide here that let me see if I can pull it up. Video file. Let's see if I can add this. Last night it didn't want to do it. 76 Restoration Movement. We have come from all over this great nation because we fear what our federal government is trying to do to our way of life. But we will not fear our government. We believe in the peaceful resolution of our grievances. Our national chapter spent 34 days straight on the National Mall, proving that we will do what it takes to stand for individual liberty. Our goal is to look every elected official dead in the eye. Those who agree to help us restore a constitutional republic, we will pour all our efforts into their re-election. We do this not because we have a right to. We do this because we have a duty to. We do it for our children and our grandchildren. Will you stand with us today? Alrighty, sorry about that. I was talking and nothing was happening. So my camera has started acting up again. Let me see if I can fix that. I was over there trying to fix it. That's why I didn't drop the music. It's not wanting to work. Is that on? Hang on just a second, folks. Be right back. Well, for some reason, the camera's not even operating. Give me just, there it goes. Okay. Well, it's working. The camera's working at least. Okay. Done the same thing the other night. Oh, it's working now. Well, sorry. I couldn't see it. So let me go over here and fix it. It's not even showing up over here. Anyway, it's back on. I have no idea what's going on with it. So, all righty, let's get into to some of the things that I wanted to talk about. Let's see here. Some of the things that we need to do is we need to identify each state in the, you live in your state. Identify the issues that are in your state. You can go in and what are they doing that is improper, immoral, and start addressing those issues. Everybody needs to have their own state's constitution. You need to get familiar not only with the federal constitution, you need to get very familiar with your state constitution. Computers. If you can identify or get some computers and have them set up ready to help people sign up. Have them utilize their cell phones. Also, continued motivation. You need to pull together core groups of people and let those people work as a team. That way, they get to know each other. Our group that we've got right now, man, we love each other and we're working together and we help each other and build a blueprint of how you want your state to go. Map things out and get it down in writing how you want your particular state to how you want it to end up. And then the last thing is make sure that you got ongoing education, bringing people in if you have to get together in groups and go through that Constitution alive. Get together and talk about the different things that are going on. Identify the people that needs to talk to the representatives. You want somebody that is articulate, that knows this system inside and out, and what we're trying to do, and can talk intelligently with somebody that really doesn't know what they're supposed to be doing. They've just been taught a way to do things, and it's the wrong way to do things. And so we need to educate them and get them on board with doing the right thing. We have to educate our politicians. Now, we've got some great politicians in every state that do understand the power of the Constitution and how we're supposed to live or run our government by that Constitution. But at the same time, we've got people that have no idea what they're doing. And they're just doing what they're told or doing what they've been told is the way to do it. So these are the things that we need to get together and work on. Any comments or questions, if you will? Let's go ahead and start to address some of them. Was that too long? What you guys let you tell me? Were you able to understand it? Did it flow through? Did it make sense to you? Yes, absolutely. Faith and Country. We need to put together a list. Thank you, Michael. We need to put together a list of people that we recommend that others vote for. Thank you, guys. Was anybody not able to follow along? I want to know, um, if there's anybody that didn't understand what we were trying to say here, what we're trying to do here. Thank you, Kathleen. You guys are too kind. Do we have a leader in Alabama? We have actually have no state leads right now. What we're looking for is people just to become leaders and to take this and to start to form your groups in your states. So, Jenny, if you want to do that, make sure you go to the website and get a hold of Bob, Indiana Bob, the state lead, and let him know that you're ready to start in Alabama. And we'll get you set up to do that. Help you do that in every way that we can. Faith and Country says, Jenny, state leads will be posted when officials submit apps. So what we're going to do is from the different leaders in the state, one of them will rise to become the state lead. So my email is santa@1776rm.com, santa@1776rm.com, or Carol has put up my other email address, davidrydell331@yahoo.com. Carol is probably that near's probably reached its end. So I do still have somebody checking that. So probably let's just go with the santa@1776rm.com. So let's just start using that one. I'm sorry, I just now saw that. I hadn't thought about it until just now. Great, Freedom Nurse. I'm glad you're doing that. Sign up for state leads. There it is, www.1776rm.com. Go to the state, go to the, I think it's a volunteers section, if I remember right. If, there's Raptor and Indiana Bob on here. I didn't know they were here. Mags, if you want to chime in here, I can put you, I sent the link to our other group. And if you want to link on here and you kind of explain the website process better than I can, I know you can. So, you went up there last night, Tammy? Great. I apologize again for last night. I didn't know that we could only have 10 at a time on that particular one. So that's why we elected to do it this way tonight. Absolutely, C10. Thank you, Marge. No, I can't do them all. We have to have people that do it. All you gotta do is just be real, Marge. All you gotta do is just be real. You don't have to be like me. Trust me. Yeah, I am working on a Rumble channel. Actually, I have a Rumble channel. It's IR David 160. IR David 160 on Rumble. And I am going to be switching over to that as soon as I can figure out what it is. I got to get StreamYard. I got to purchase it, and right now I'm not able to do that. So we're going to have to start getting away from this format, this platform, if you will, because it's just not going to let us continue on. We all know that. So we have to do that eventually. Yeah. This will be a good question, Freedom Nurse. This is a PowerPoint presentation, and if you're projecting it onto a TV or to a screen of some sort, it comes up in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen will be what's actually up on the screen, and the top right up there will be what the next screen will look like. So that's how it kind of works out. So you can, and I'm just reading the stuff and just throwing in some stuff, and you'll come up with some stuff that you can put in there. I do have a Telegram channel. It's Convoy Santa, I think, or just Santa. or IR David 160 as well. That both of those will bring that up too. Vern, yeah, Vern is one that actually is trying to help me. To Lynn, is it T Lynn? Sorry, Sherry. I do have that. Uh, uh, well, that's awesome, Michael. That's awesome. Get together with Alabama and help them get started. That's awesome. Absolutely. So when you guys get into the Alabama room, go into the Alabama room, and you guys get to talking together. There's a place where you can chat together there and set up meetings and start the program rolling down there. That's fantastic. Oh, okay. All right, Max, you're okay, buddy. You're all right. I just seen that uh, your wife was on here, so all righty. Any other questions about the thing here? I'm not going to stick around and do a lot of chat tonight. Oh, I got a fisheye. It does, don't it? Yeah. I don't know how to do that either, guys. I'm not a tech guy. I am not a tech guy at all. So I apologize. All right, guys. I am going to sign off and spend the rest of the evening with my family. If you've got any questions, anything that you need to ask, then go to 1776. I'm sorry, Santa at 1776rm.com. That's for me and the presentation itself. If you've got state lead questions, that would be Bob's email. Somebody give Bob's email. Uh, I forget his email, but Bob's got an email as well. And then if you got any kind of website questions, that would go to Chuck. Uh, I think his is something else, and then there's one for the chairman, which is I think something else, and then but mine I know, the rest of them I don't. So all right, guys, uh, have a good night, everybody, and thank you for joining us. And we'll come back and do this again. We might start doing this on a regular basis. You can invite people to come in and do it with us, and hopefully we'll get everything straightened out and fixed up. All right. Love y'all. Good night. God bless. Have a good night. I'm going to go hang out with my kids. Bye-bye.